Hello, my name is Rick Hanson. I'm a neuropsychologist, a longtime meditation teacher and practitioner, and author of Buddha's Brain, the practical neuroscience of happiness, love, and wisdom. It makes me very happy that this book is being translated now into Mandarin with complex characters and being made available for the people of Taiwan. I have much respect for the people of Taiwan and their history, and also for Chinese civilization in general, which is of course an ancient and noble civilization, and which has teachings that are actually present in my book as well. This is a book that's a practical book for regular people to use in daily life, such that they can use the findings of modern neuroscience to use their mind alone. In other words, to use their thoughts and feelings and desires and their attention and what they do with what is in their attention to gradually change their brain for the better. Because, as modern neuroscience is showing, quote unquote, neurons that fire together wire together. In other words, the flow of mental activity, in other words, what we experience in daily life, is gradually sculpting our brain. For better or worse. For example, if we routinely think about what's wrong with us and self-criticism and complaints about the world and fears and anger, well, we're going to be gradually changing the brain for the worse. On the other hand, if we put our attention on the good facts of everyday life, including our own good qualities, or the good things that happen, or people who smile or are kind to us, or work with our brain, or work with our mind, which means working with our brain in a practical way, we are actually going to be changing the brain for the better. And that's what my book's about. It has 4 main sections. The first section is how the brain evolved over time, giving us both wonderful capacities, but also many negative tendencies toward fear and sadness and anger. Then in the second section, I talk about many practical ways for being happier and calming down and relaxing and activating parts of the nervous system that are soothing and refueling. In the third part of the book, I talk about relationships, including how we have both a tendency toward love in our heart as well as an evolved tendency toward aggression. And then I go into explore how you can encourage the tendencies toward kindness and compassion with others and control the tendencies toward anger and aggression. And then in the last part of that section on relationships, I talk about how to bring together kindness as well as assertiveness, because the combination of the two is so important and also so challenging in important relationships. Then in the fourth and final section of the book, I address how to get greater control over attention, even to the point of concentration, and then in the final chapter conclude with how to not take life so personally. There's also an appendix to the book that talks about nutritional neurochemistry. In other words, how you can, through the foods you eat or the vitamins or other supplements you take, can gradually change your brain for the better. The book is very well referenced. It's based in modern science, and it's been endorsed by many, many leading scholars and scientists. I'm very happy about this book, which is now out in 21 languages, including, of course, Mandarin Chinese now. To finish up, I'd like to suggest a little practice to you that comes from the book. It's just one of many methods. It has to do with the idea of taking in good experiences so that they become a part of you. Unfortunately, the brain evolved what scientists call a negativity bias that makes it like Velcro for negative experiences, but Teflon for positive ones. This means that we need to take conscious steps to really savor positive experiences so they sink in, therefore defeating the negativity bias and reversing it. In other words, making the brain like Velcro for positive experiences and Teflon for negative ones. So the 3 basic steps of taking in the good are, and you can do it for yourself right now, think of some positive fact in your life, probably a small fact, and then let it become a positive experience. In other words, when a good thing happens, like you get something done, or someone is nice to you, or flowers are blooming, or you're still alive, let it become a positive experience. Then, in the second step, really enjoy it. Stay with it, savor it, really let yourself privately, no one needs to know you're doing this, let yourself have a positive experience. This way, in the saying from neuroscience, you're going to get neurons to fire together and therefore to wire together, to gradually weave this positive experience into the fabric of your own brain and therefore yourself. And then in the third step of taking in the good, sense and intend that this experience is sinking into you. Like, water into a sponge, or sunlight into a shirt on a hot day. Activating memory systems to really register this positive experience and transfer it into long-term memory. Any single time you do this will not probably change your life, but if you do it several times a day, within a few days, certainly within a few weeks, you'll probably notice a difference. And this is just one example of the many, many methods, probably well over 100 methods in this book, that you can use in everyday life to gradually change your brain for the better. So, I wish you the best. I wish you a long, happy, prosperous, and loving life. Thank you very much. Take care.